Ladies and gentlemen, I want you guys to remember something that we talk about on this channel a lot, which is called hashtag date thugs, date death. That's something that we started years ago here at the AFC, where we advocate for children first. You guys see I have a t-shirt. I'm not sure how well you can see it, but the t-shirt design is actually in the description box, but it says hashtag date thugs and date death. And what that means, it doesn't mean that every single person that has a rough background is going to do something heinous. But what it does mean is that you flirt with the idea that that person might make a bad decision. And in this case, you have a father who has done something to this little boy right here who looks so happy. And I can't imagine how you could look at a face like this and be upset for any reason or take out any anger and frustration for any reason. But I want y'all to look at his face, because I found a couple of pictures. I couldn't find too many pictures of this man, but you notice he has face tattoos, and y'all know how I feel about people that have face tattoos. I believe that people who have face tattoos up here, up here, up here, over here, over here, under here, neck tattoo. You get what I'm saying? I feel like they're not good parents if you got a shit ton of face tattoos, okay? It's just a personal opinion, right? Like, you look like you should be in Rikers Island. That's what those tattoos look like to me. When I see that, I don't think it's indicative of a law-abiding citizen, let alone a parent, but it's just my stupid opinion, all right? Parma, Ohio. The individual that you just saw on my screen right there, that is Matthew J. Ponomarenko. Matthew J. Ponomarenko, who is 31 years old. I was barely able to pronounce his name. I got to be honest. He was charged with aggravated murder for the death of his 5-year-old son. His 5-year-old son's name is Jax, J-A-X. That little happy baby that y'all see right there, that's Jax Ponomarenko. He's 5 years old. Now, police in Parma, Ohio, said that after the father killed this boy on Thursday afternoon, March 25th, he called 911 to confess his crimes. Let me ask you guys a question, because I know it's difficult to listen to this stuff. Do y'all want to hear his actual 911 call? So we'll take a vote in the chat if y'all want me to play the call. If you want me to skip it, if you feel like it's too graphic, then just let me know. But I do have the call. The chilling 911 audio released by police not only has his confession, but also makes shocking revelations about his state of mind. Now, how many of you guys believe in this thing called mental illness? You can be honest with me. If you believe in it, post it in the chat. If you think mental illness is a BS excuse for people to do stupid stuff like I do, let me know. But I think mental illness is an excuse. It allows for people to hurt children and be able to get off lightly for their crimes. Not everybody is going to feel that way, but that's how I feel, because we advocate for children. And if you present a danger to your children, then you should not be a parent. Everybody catch that? Regardless of whether you have mental issues or not, get help, get it in check, get it fixed, take your medication, whatever the hell you need to do, but it should not be allowed to be an excuse for you to put your children in harm's way for any reason. This man said, I just killed my son. The father is heard telling the 911 dispatch. What do you mean you just killed your son? The dispatch said. And he said, I'm hearing voices. That's according to the dad. He's dead in the living room. And then he asked for officers to be sent out to his house. He had claimed at the time of the murder, there was nobody in the house with them. When he asked why he killed his son, he said, I don't know. Ponomarenko told 911 dispatch he beat his son, and this is where it's going to get hard. He beat his 5-year-old son with a baseball bat to death. And I want y'all to look at that big old huge dude right there. That's a big guy. He looks pretty strong, a lot of tattoos, looks like a hardened criminal if you ask me. And I'm assuming that he's probably had this mentality the majority of his adult life. Now, I'm not trying to put off on the mom and say that the mom was sleeping with a thug, or maybe I am. Maybe that's what I'm actually going to accuse a lot of women, and it's not all, but it's too many women that sleep with these thugs. What they do is they take their children down to the thug zoo because they're just like, we want to go have us a good time, right? And they go down there and take their kids to the thug zoo, and they go see the cute little cuddly thug lion, and they decide to take their children and place them inside of the lion's cage and walk off and leave their children. Then they come back and be like, I just don't know why the thug lion mauled and clawed and scraped my baby's face to death. And then they want sympathy, and guess what they also do? Oh, that's right. Open up a GoFundMe. Because why have life insurance? Why have GerberLife.com insurance when you could just go open up a GoFundMe and pluck on the heartstrings of these benevolent white folk who normally donate to these GoFundMes? Because it ain't a lot of people that look like me that's putting that money in there. We know who that is, right? We just open up a GoFundMe. I think that's hella irresponsible for any and all parents who don't have life insurance. Everybody should have life insurance. Let's move on. The father told the dispatch that he beat his son with a baseball bat and that his dead, motionless body was on the living room floor. He stayed on the line for more than 5 minutes with 911 dispatch, telling her he didn't know why he killed his son. After a while, he just stayed on the phone without saying much, refusing to answer any further questions, saying only, I'm shaken. When the cops arrived, he says, they're here. The 911 audio can be heard here, and they gave the audio, so if y'all want to hear that, I do not mind playing it. According to the latest reports, on Monday, during his video appearance in front of the Judge Ken Spangle, the Parma Municipal Court ordered the father to stay in jail with, you guessed it, no bond. No bond, especially due to the brutality of the crime that he's allegedly did, but he admitted to over the phone. Now, according to reports, the boy's cause of death has not been yet released by the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner. And if you guys are wondering why the word Cuyahoga sounds familiar, this is the same place that Anaya Day Garrett, the same area, the same precinct that Anaya Day Garrett was murdered by her mother and mother's boyfriend, which was Sierra Day and Deontay Lewis. And where the, y'all go back and look at my video. Look that up. Anaya Day Garrett. One of the most horrific things I've ever seen. And I got to tell you guys, I played that 911 call on that video. If you want to go back in my videos and look at it, that's where the AFC, the Advocates for Children, I felt like that's where it was born on that night. Because I was so traumatized by that call to just hear how cold a parent can be to their own damn kid. Oh, they talk about they got him on suicide watch. I don't give a crap about none of that stuff. Let me go ahead and give y'all the fair usage. Let me just play the videos, okay? Let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Now again, to the people who don't like me to give my opinion, I thought that's what this channel was about. It's about my commentary. This ain't a news station, right? To those people, you can exit the channel because, yes, I'm going to pause the video and give my commentary. That's what the whole point of this channel is, okay? But let me say this real quick. The father actually has, when I called him a thug, he actually has a history of crimes against children. The dad has a history of crimes against children. He was previously found guilty of child endangerment, and he paid fines from a 2017 incident where police found him and his son and a then 1-year-old naked. Wow. Matthew's mother reportedly called police saying that he was having a mental breakdown and running and swearing, swearing at people driving past him. A Parma police report said. He later told officers he had taken meth, mushrooms, and PCP, and his mother said that he was having a mental breakdown. So I want y'all to bookmark that. We'll come back to it.
This memorial outside the family's house keeps growing and growing tonight. Stuffed animals, flowers, and balloons from a community remembering the little 5-year-old boy killed here yesterday. A pinwheel peacefully blowing in the wind, a stark contrast to the horror police say happened inside this Russell Avenue home Thursday. Parma police say just after 2 o'clock, 31-year-old Matthew Ponomarenko called 911, told a dispatcher he killed his son inside the family's living room. We've chosen not to air that call, but in it, the father says he beat his son to death with a baseball bat, that he was alone in the house, but hearing voices. He told a dispatcher he didn't know why he killed his son, Jax.
It's just a horrible thing that could have happened.
Outside the murder scene today, Nathaniel Turner says none of it feels real.
No, not at all. I don't see why it would, but no, none of it makes sense at all.
Turner says he's a family friend, says he never had any idea something like this would happen.
My heart is, I can even feel it right now, to be honest. I got the biggest hole in my stomach. It's upsetting.
Police charge Matthew Ponomarenko with aggravated murder. He's scheduled to make his first appearance in court Monday to answer for a crime this community struggles to understand.
He was a baby, never had a chance, and, to be treated like that.
And guess you guys heard that right. He has a history of violence specifically against children.
It's just devastating.
The death of 5-year-old Jax, who family members say was autistic, hitting many here hard, even those who never knew him.
It made me think of if it was my nephew or somebody. It's just really sad.
An outpouring of support for a family torn apart by tragedy tonight.
Because he was just a baby.
Tonight, Cuyahoga County's Department of Children and Family Services says a 9-year-old sibling is safe, staying with a relative tonight as police here continue their investigation. In Parma, I'm 5 on your side investigator.
Now to a developing story in Parma as investigators look into the death of a 5-year-old boy.
Police have arrested a suspect who is believed to be the boy's father. The Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner's Office has released the child's name, but we are choosing not to identify him at this time. Manny Abraham has more now on what we know and what investigators are trying to piece together.
And for those asking about the 911 call, that's why I went ahead and stopped reading the story to go ahead and start playing the videos because it's coming up. So y'all just bear with me a moment, okay?
Hours, crime scene investigators searched through this home on Russell Avenue. Parma police say a 5-year-old boy was found dead, the victim of an alleged homicide. And police say a 31-year-old man believed to be the boy's father has been arrested in connection with the tragic death.
I was in the backyard and heard all the sirens coming.
Donald White lives nearby. He shared this video with us, captured from his Ring doorbell camera as police arrived on scene. It's unclear what caused that sound. Another video shows a man who was taken away on a gurney, but details on what happened and why have not been released. The case still under investigation.
Parma community came together tonight to remember the life of Jax Ponomarenko, the preschooler police say was killed by his father late last week.
And while many are asking how this horrific tragedy could have even happened, the little boy's family is focusing on happier times. News 5's Emily Hamilton has been following this heartbreaking story from the very beginning, and tonight she shows us how little 5-year-old Jax was honored tonight.
Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Jax was awesome at being Jax.
Tears fell and memories were cherished.
He was such a ray of sunshine within our classroom. He had a giant smile on his face every day.
As relatives, friends, and teachers paid tribute to 5-year-old Jax Ponomarenko.
Dear Jax, you were the best brother I could have ever had.
Though loved ones say it's impossible to sum up the little boy who lit up their world in words.
To say that he was a special little boy is true, but it's also not enough. It doesn't even show the surface of Jax. And what a great kid he really was.
The horrible tragedy that happened did not define Jax's life.
Jax's father, 31-year-old Matt Ponomarenko, is charged with aggravated murder for the death of his son, who had autism. He remains in police custody and was denied bond Monday. Jax's older brother bravely addressed the crowd at the vigil for his baby brother, grappling with the grief of a sibling bond taken far too soon.
When you were gonna grow up, I was gonna teach you how to play baseball, like basketball, and video games. I always tickled you and ran around the house with you and played with you. As I always say, I love you to the moon and the back.
And I want y'all to hear, this is why I want to play some of these videos. That was his brother. That was the baby's brother right there.
Those who knew the little boy best are asking for donations to the Autism Society in Jax's name.
His laughter filled the house. His singing brought so much joy to our home. He would look at you and it made your heart melt. And you felt the love and innocence beaming from him.
He just made this world a better place and just brought so much joy to all of us. He filled our house with love and laughter.
Love you, Dad. Love you.
Emily Hamilton, News 5.
All right, this is some of the tribute. So for now, out of
family,
no disrespect to the family,
an entire community.
We're gonna skip some of this. If y'all want to watch the tribute video, we'll come back to that. But I think most of y'all want to hear the 911 call. So here it is. If y'all would, please click that thumbs up. All right. Here is the warning, and it says right there on the screen: warning, the audio you're about to hear contains graphic descriptions of violence and has been edited to remove personal information. So that is your forewarning, okay? All right, let's go ahead and go.
911, what's the address to your emergency? Oh, okay, and the phone number you're calling from with area code, please? And what's the problem? Tell me exactly what happened.
I just killed my son.
What do you mean you just killed your son?
I'm hearing voices.
Oh, okay. How old's your son?
6.
Where's your son now?
He's dead.
Dead where?
In the living room.
All right. Do you have any weapons?
Can you just send in cops?
Yeah, we're doing that now. What's your name?
Matt Ponomarenko.
I'm sorry, the first name?
Matt.
Matt? Spell your last name for me, Matt.
Ponomarenko.
What's your son's name?
Jack.
Jack?
Jax, Jax.
And you said you're hearing voices?
Yes.
All right, how did you kill your son?
With a baseball bat.
You killed him with a baseball bat?
Mm-hmm.
And why did you kill him with a baseball bat?
I don't know.
Was there anyone else there with you and him?
No.
I couldn't be a dispatcher. I could not imagine listening to this wild, crazy stuff, man. This dude is a freaking animal.
All right, Matt, we've got some units on the way, okay? I want you to stay on the phone with me.
We're going to play the full call, okay? It's about 4 more minutes of this. Let's go back.
Okay. All right, Matt, we've got some units on the way, okay? I want you to stay on the phone with me. And when did you do that? Matt, when did you kill your son? Matt?
Yeah.
When did this happen?
I'm shaking.
I understand. When did this happen? Matt? When did this happen? Okay, Matt, do you have any other weapons in the home?
No.
And when did this happen? Okay. And when did this happen, Matt?
If you ask me, it seems like he's now realizing, like it's almost like he's trying to not say anything more than what he already has, which is already a hell of a lot. He's thinking now, man, this is just insane.
Matt, you still there with me? Matt?
It's still playing. Still maybe got a minute left.
You're not gonna let me smoke in the car? What? You're not gonna let me smoke in the car?
Matt? Matt, where are you? Okay, Matt?
They're here.
All right, well, hold on a moment.
I don't think we can hear this one that well, so let me skip forward.
Tonight we have an update on the Parma father arrested for the murder of his 5-year-old son.
Right now there's a vigil taking place for Jax Ponomarenko. This is a live look at Veterans Memorial Park in Parma, where friends and family have gathered to remember the young man who was killed last week. The suspected killer is his 31-year-old father, Matthew, who called 911 to report what happened, and he made his first court appearance today. Brandon Simmons has the latest.
It's a tragedy the Parma community won't soon forget. Police arriving at this Russell Avenue home on Thursday afternoon to find 5-year-old Jax Ponomarenko dead inside. The man believed to be responsible, his own father. Neighbors in complete shock.
There's no words for it. It's just so heartbreaking.
31-year-old Matthew Ponomarenko called 911 saying he was hearing voices and had beaten his son with a baseball bat, taking his life. Today, he made his first appearance in Parma Municipal Court via video conference while wearing a protective vest, facing a charge of aggravated murder. There, prosecutors asked the judge to continue a no-bail order, which was granted as family members watched nearby. The case now heading over to the county court system where proceedings will continue this Friday. In the midst of it all, Jax's family continues to receive an outpouring of support from the community. Today, a vigil is being held to honor the 5-year-old who was able to bring so much joy to so many people.
Yeah, about that voices thing, that sounds like a premeditated excuse. Like, I think he thought about that for a moment. Regardless, it don't even matter. I don't know why you would take that out on your kid. But where was the mother? Were they living together? Were they currently in a relationship? Were they broken up? I don't think it specified it in the article that I read, but I would absolutely want to know where the mother was in this situation.
And it's not just here in Parma. Donations from around the country are rolling in on a GoFundMe page set up to help the family take care of unexpected expenses, already raising over $20,000. It's just a little bit of comfort for this family in a situation many of us will never be able to understand.
Now, of course, that vigil continues here in Parma, a very somber moment for family and friends who are gathered here. Of course, they wish they didn't have to gather under these circumstances. However, they wanted to make sure that they honored the life of Jax Ponomarenko. In Parma, I'm Brandon Simmons.
We told you 24 hours ago about the tragic death of a young Parma boy. We've learned more now of the details to exactly what happened, and they are disturbing. January Keaton joins us live now from Parma. January, this is one of those stories that takes your breath away.
Yeah, tell me about it. And the 911 call was just that much more disturbing. I listened to that call, and we are not going to air any portion of that call because it is absolutely chilling. But the caller identifies himself as little Jax Ponomarenko's father, and he admits.
And I want y'all to remember the reason why I'm asking where the mom was, not only for leaving her son in this situation with this man, but knowing that he also has a history. If she didn't know, she should have known, because you could look that up with a simple Google search and do a background check. You have to know who you're bringing your children around. If you don't, then you better start looking it up, because people like the AFC, what we're going to start doing, we're going to start asking for laws to be created. Well, if you take your children to the thug zoo and leave your children in the thug lion cage and the thug lion decides to murder your kid, then I think that the parent that placed the kid in that situation should be investigated and potentially charged and might have to do jail time as well. Because as parents, regardless of whether it's a mother or a father who are the custodial parents, I believe we need a hell of a lot more accountability. Let's move on.
To killing the little boy. Now, the 911.
Yes, you're right. He's trying to get an insanity plea. You're absolutely right. And I want y'all to remember that he already has a history. When you date thugs, you date death. That's what that logo and that icon in the chat means.
One call was made Thursday afternoon from the Russell Avenue home where Jax was killed. The caller, as I mentioned, identified himself on that call as Matt Ponomarenko. He admits to beating the 5-year-old to death with a baseball bat, claiming he heard voices. Ponomarenko, he's no stranger to the law. He has a 2017 conviction for misdemeanor child endangering and a series of arrests for intoxication and disorderly conduct. In 2019, Cuyahoga County investigated, quote, parenting issues with the family, but that case was subsequently closed. Neighbors, of course, are shocked and saddened by Thursday's tragedy.
I got like 12 grandkids, and it's just so heartbreaking that it's, you know, my stomach is just like flip-flopping.
It's upsetting.
We begin with an update on the 5-year-old boy killed in Parma yesterday.
Tonight, we've learned the boy was allegedly killed at the hands of his father.
Yeah, we have quite a bit going on. We're going to start with today's top story. The Parma man who called 911 to say he killed his son last Thursday made his first appearance in court today. And right now, there's a vigil for the victim, 5-year-old Jax Ponomarenko in Parma. Brandon Simmons joins us from there right now with the latest on the case. Hi, Brandon.
Hi, Betsy. Yeah, you're right. There's been a true outpouring of support for this family since this incident happened on Thursday afternoon. Of course, that's when Jax Ponomarenko was found dead inside of that home on Russell Avenue. I just want to show you the scene here at the vigil. We have dozens and dozens of people showing up. It's expected to get started in just a few minutes here. We have family and friends, right? People give in this case. Where he faces a capital murder charge. The judge there decided today to continue a no bail order in this case, and that case will be sent over to the Cuyahoga County Common Pleas Court to continue this Friday at the first hearing at 9:45. Now, this hearing too was emotional for family who was there inside of the courtroom watching all of this.
So there's the GoFundMe right there, and the reason why, and I'm very careful about when I say things. Every human being should have life insurance. If you can't afford it, then you shouldn't be a parent. If you can't afford life insurance, GerberLife.com is a very simple place that offers life insurance at rates that if you can't afford that, then I don't really know what the hell you're doing. Kids are expensive as it is, then we need to start planning better. Like family should bury family. How about that? Family should bury family. Parents should bury their children. Children should bury their parents, cousins, aunties, whatever it is. Family ought to band together and not hope that the rest of the world will hopefully hear your story, feel sad enough, and donate to a GoFundMe, because just as well as you might have one like this that was funded for $20,000, so their GoFundMe was taken care of. But what about the tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people that put up these same type of GoFundMes hoping to get support that don't get anything? They get zero. They get no shares. They get maybe $50, $25, $7. They get nothing. And they're just like, well, what are we going to do? So we're talking about a small group of people who get theirs funded and a large group that get absolutely nothing. And we can't continue to keep going down that path. We can't do it. Get life insurance. Be responsible.
This happened. Of course, this is their first time in court for what will likely be many times. And as all of this happens, donations are also pouring in for Jax's family online. A GoFundMe page that was set up has already garnered over $20,000 and continues to grow. Now back here.
The family and the community came out to remember a little boy in Parma tonight.
I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord.
A vigil for Jax Ponomarenko took place a few hours ago at Veterans Memorial Park in Parma. Jax was remembered tonight by his older brother.
Dear Jax, you were the best brother I could have ever had. As I always say, I love you to the moon, the back, and finish me on a fat kid loves cake, and more than that, and more than that, and more than that. Love your older brother, Dominic.
Oh, man.
Candles were lit and balloons launched in honor of Jax. Friends are raising money using GoFundMe to help cover expenses. In the meantime, the boy's father, who is charged with his murder, will stay behind bars. Matthew Ponomarenko appeared in court this morning via video wearing a protective vest to prevent self-harm. He's been charged with aggravated murder.
Ooh. I can't play the video of that baby again, man. That broke me up. He lost a brother. He lost a friend, his sibling, his lifelong partner to grow up in life. So here's the thing. Cuyahoga County, which is where this happened, continues to be just I don't know how you describe it. It's grounds for so much child abuse that's going on. It continues to go unchecked. Nobody's doing anything to fix it. We continue to ask for justice, but more than what we need as far as justice is we need prevention. More than justice, we need prevention. The way to prevent that is to not be in relationships with people who have face tattoos, people who have criminal records, people who are child molesters, people who have registered sex offender records, people who have pending murder charges, people who have drug issues, drug charges, gang involvement. These are very simple things to recognize as yellow flags and red flags not to date those kind of people. I'm sorry if it's not enough men out there for you to date, good men that you want and you have to settle, but I'm sorry, but we have to start doing better for our children, okay? If you want to do that and and date those type of people, if you don't have children, then fine. Don't procreate. Don't make children. So if you want to put yourself in a dangerous position, that's one thing, if that's how you want to live your life. But it is so damn unfair for people to put their children's life at risk, because babies like this, he couldn't speak for himself. How is he supposed to defend himself against his big grown thug ass father with a baseball bat? Even a big grown adult like me, 6'2", 285 pounds, I might have some issue trying to defend myself against a grown ass man with a bat. And I want y'all to think about that. What is a baby supposed to do? Why was this baby left in this situation? Why was this mother in a relationship with this man to begin with, who already had a record, who already proven he's not worth being around children? If somebody is not a law-abiding citizen, then in my personal opinion, they are not suitable to be around kids. Also, as a reminder, this is a twofold thing. This boy had autism. This is National Autism Awareness Month, as well as April is National Child Abuse Month. Again, it's another reason why we do what we do. When people talk about we're not a real advocacy group and what we do and doing these videos is not actually advocacy. If you look up the word advocate, actually what the AFC does, that's exactly what we do to the letter. We advocate, and we're going to continue to give these babies who can't speak for themselves, who can't defend themselves against the tyranny of their caretakers, we're going to give them a voice. We're going to continue to shed light on these stories. We're going to continue to pray and hope that the world joins us in our fight to continue to eliminate this violence and complete disrespect of our children. To baby Jax, young Prince, I don't want the father's face on my screen. Let me find a solo shot of the baby. I don't want the dad on my screen at all. See if I can find one. I like this one. Young Jax, young Prince, R.I.P. He deserved to grow up and become something great. And I thank you guys for sharing in this story and listening with an open mind and an open heart. I know what I say is difficult, but there's nothing more difficult than what these children are forced to live through, okay? Let's do better as Americans. And I want to thank you guys for listening to this particular story. Thank you.